beautiful souls. I am Awaken Soul, and today we're going to be reviewing Bitcoin, and we're going to be setting it up for our next trade, okay? I like to use the index chart. I like it in the log scale. I think it provides great history, and it's just a better technique to chart in my perspective. So on my monthly, I'm going to just set a basic trend line, one touch, two touches here, like I've always have. Just you could observe price action right above the support, above the 1226 EMAs, and what happened here, price action broke under this major support, back tested, and it looks like it's going to roll over back down. Okay, just a clear observation of what's happening. I'm not making anything up. And also 1226 are bearish. If you turn them off, right, we are in a bearish trend on the monthly. Okay, so my bearish target for this would be 12K. Okay, one touch, two touches, uno, dos, and this would be. And my bullish target, just like we have a bearish target, you have to have a bullish target, because the charts are always going to do whatever they want. Okay, so it's important to always have two targets. So, and when we're talking about monthly targets, we're talking about like a whole year taking play. Okay, so those are my, and then that's my bullish target here. Wonderful, because I am looking at a trade for today. I'm going to be zooming in here and setting my range. What is my range? Usually I like to use the previous candle. So this is my monthly low, and of course monthlies are red here. This is my monthly high, and because we technically broke the monthly low, I'm going to use the next monthly, if I'm not mistaken, this was the open. Right, so just key levels there that is gonna guide me. I see the charts as a weight system, level to level. Imagine an elevator, right? So if we break one level, it's coming down to the next level kind of scenario. Okay, let's go into our weekly. In our weekly time frame, I want you to just observe. And remember, this is its own contraction phase on the weekly time frame. Understanding market structure is really important at this time. We can see one construction phase here. We trended down and we created a contraction phase here. So what I would like to do here is throw my POC. How did I do that? So right here under your tools, you have a fixed range volume profile is the best one to use, because you want to find the points of control within your contraction zones, right? So because we have two weekly here, I'm going to go ahead and get two weekly POCs and just mark them. Okay. So I'm going to say weekly POC. Perfect. So we have another one here. See how beautiful my monthly bullish target hits the weekly POC in this contraction phase? I think that's so beautiful. Beautiful TA. All right, let's get the POCs out of our ways. Oh, I didn't share with you, but please follow me at Awaken Soul _369. That's my Twitter. And I do have a course if you're interested. And it comes with my Discord where I'm pretty active 24/7. So, what was I saying? Sorry, I get lost sometimes. So I'm in my monthly time frame. Okay, so now what I want to do is, let me just erase this. Now you know what I'm talking about. In my weekly time frame, I'm going to set my range just like I did for my monthly, right? I want to set my floor levels. So my weekly, using the previous candle, here is my weekly. Okay, and I'm just going to put one more over here. Okay, see how I use the highs, the lows, the open, the close? I just want to, those are critical zones for me using the previous candle. Because technically we already broke down to a new weekly level. I am going to consider the next weekly level. You just have to. All right. Okay, also on my weekly, what else do I want to do? I was in some trend lines. Let's go ahead and do a weekly trend line, right? And I like to use my higher high, lower low indicator just to guide me. Because there's this monthly resistance trend line here. I'm gonna use the monthly and keep the monthly. There's no need to put a weekly there because the monthly is stronger than the weekly, right? So one touch, two touches. Weeklies are orange, right? And I will not use a live candle, right? And I'm not, but it looked like it bounced perfectly from this one touch, two touches. So that's my weekly support. Okay, so with that being said, let me give you a weekly target. The weekly target, one touch, two touches when it breaks to the downside, and this would be my weekly target. And again, weekly targets are gonna take a month to play out. Okay, so just be aware of the time frame when we're charting here. So that's your weekly. And for just like I always say, just like you find a bearish target, you have to find a bullish target. And the reason I'm not doing a bullish target on the weekly is because again, we have this monthly trend line that for me is super critical. So if we were to break this monthly trend line, we're just going to the monthly target of 38, right? That's how I see it, level to level. Okay, so we're in our weekly. Perfect. Let's go down to the daily. What is the daily doing? And the daily, same process with our contraction phases. Understanding that this is a contraction phase is important for me, okay? So this is my contraction phase. So let's find the POC of the contraction phase. And not only that, what is our contraction phase telling us? Okay, what patterns, what do you see, where the highs, where the lows are? It's important to address that in your daily. Let me turn off the magnet here. And I'm just going to go ahead and label my daily POC. And I hope you're having a beautiful weekend. You'll see. Beautiful. Okay. So what is this contraction phase telling me in my daily? Okay, in my daily, it looks like a falling wedge. Right? We have to acknowledge that. It looks like a falling wedge. Okay, so with that being said, what would be a measured move, right? We have to address that. A measured move would be a flagpole, right? It could be this flagpole. Definitely be a possibility. Check that out. 38. That would be crazy. That would be fun. So, wow. That would be wild. I don't think I've ever seen 38 till right now. Okay. Well, I just gotta show you what the charts are telling me, right? So that could be a daily possibility, absolutely. What else do I want to see in my daily? I want to set my range, right? Remember, just like we did in the weekly, we want to set our range here. So using previous candle, I'm going to set my highs, my low, right? And I'm using the open closes and the highs for the candle. And I know it might seem a lot, but you have to understand market structure, in my opinion. Understand that each layer is a floor. Understand that it's a mechanical component that where buyers and sellers are fighting for, right? It's a supply and demand game, right? So actually, turn on supply and demand. We could see that they came for a lot of supply here. So they came for all the supply. So if there's still demand here, you know, this could give us a possibility that they could come back for demand. So yeah, so it seems a bit much, but it makes sense to me. And that's all that matters. And I hope you're learning. So now in my daily, right, I'm looking at the shift, I'm looking at the waves, I'm looking at the way the mechanics are flowing within cryptocurrency, within Bitcoin, right? Understand everything's gotta go with the flow. So with this being said on the daily, right, if we cross this major monthly resistance, hold price action above and break, I mean, of course I'm going to take a long, but I would probably want to see this 27,300s being broken and being held as support, right? So that's the mechanics that I'm looking at. So if this would break and we hold some sort of support here, then I'll consider a long. The reason I'm not considering longs as a trader, I am a scalper too, but as a day trader, because we're in a downtrend on the daily. We're in a downtrend, not officially in the weekly, but I believe in the daily we are. A couple time frames, right? So what I want to do, okay, in the daily, I set my range. I set a major support trend line. I'm going to go to the 4 hours. Yes, and this is what it takes for me to take a trade. You don't just jump in and be like, this is where it's going. Relax. Take your time. Enjoy the process, right? So in my 4 hours, this is my beautiful trend line here. Right, 4 hours are critical for me, and it looks like we're holding beautiful support above the 4-hour trend line. So 4-hour trend lines come with beautiful 4-hour targets. So this is going to be my 4-hour bullish target, and it kind of makes sense to, you know, possibly even hit the daily POC, right? And this is our monthly trend line. Remember that red one? So it just gives that confluence, maybe one more tap and then come back. Total possibility. So this is my it was resistance, it turned into support trend line, and now let's make a trend line to the upside. So when I have big wicks like this, I like to turn on the line chart sometimes and just have a nice clear trend line. So that helps me out a lot too. Sometimes I'm like, where should I go? Or, you know, so that's just something that I do. So in a course, if price action would break this trend line, we'll come back under this wedge. So critical support levels on my 4 hours to take a short, because this could definitely be like a head and shoulders too, right? 1, 2, they like to top off in 3s. So what's not to say? So I'm always thinking of all those things, and I think it's important as a trader to overthink and to analyze all the potentials, right? You can have 1, 2, and a third push, right? Not exactly a head and shoulders, but you know, they like to work in 3s. So, and my target was 27. This is monthly resistance right here. So that's what I'm still waiting on. And not only that, if you follow me and you learn from me, you understand that I have my strategy. My strategy is trendline breaking, 1226 EMAs, rotating, and critical support or resistance broken. So this would be my critical support at the time, right? So for me to short, I want that critical support to break. Till then, we're in an uptrend. Okay, in the 2 hours. Did I do it in the 4 hours? I marked my range. I did not. So on the 4 hours, right? On the 4 hours, just marking your range, previous candle, just that, previous candle. So, and the beautiful part of this is that when you come into a smaller time frame, let's say the 15 minutes, right? You understand where price action is really nicely. You understand price action is in between the daily. in between the 4 hour. So whatever decision she wants to go to, you'll be ready, because what's going to happen, either we're going to break here, we're going to retest, and then we're going to have follow through to come down, and that's going to be a beautiful short. So, or else we could come back up, hold this as support, and then continue up to the upside, and there'll be a beautiful long. So when you have a range that you could see a place like this is your range, right? So this is my critical range here. Beautiful range for my next play. And that's something I'm going to share with my community right now, letting them know this is the range. So we break to the upside, we take the long, we break to the downside, we take a short. Simple as that. Why? Because I understand the flow of the charts, right? And it all starts with my monthly chart. I hope that helped. I hope you learned something. I will be posting this setup in Twitter. Please follow me on Twitter. And like I said, I do have a public Discord where I help out and I try to share all my knowledge with everyone. And remember to do everything with love.